How's it going, you guys? AZ Plyo 21 back again with another fight night here in our UFC save in WMMA 5, and tonight it is UFC Fight Night ALMEIDA versus ASSUNCAO. And a little bit of a treat today. We have a guest joining us via voice chat on Discord.
Tristan is the man.
That's right, Tristan. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. You?
I'm doing okay. Now, Tristan, first off, what is the thing that got you into MMA, and what got you into my channel in general? Like, how did you come across it?
I mean, I honestly don't remember how I got into your channel, but I got into MMA. I just remember just really liking UFC 3 for some reason, and then I got it, and then I just ended up getting interested in the sport. So it just kind of,
No, I
I
get
just
you.
kind of wanted the game, and then I got into it.
And are you pretty good at UFC 3 or no?
Yeah.
Did you get UFC 4?
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, I'm kind of in the same way. Like, I didn't really like MMA or UFC until it was called UFC Undisputed 3. It was like an old video game for the PS3. So
yeah, I have that too, actually.
I honestly prefer that game to the newer like EA Sports games, but they're still pretty fun. But anyways, Tristan's, I'm happy you're here to join us. You're going to give us some insight into the fights that we're going to have going on today. And if anyone out there, whether you're on YouTube or Twitch, if you guys want to join in on the voice chat, let your voice be heard. You follow the Discord. Link's going to be down in the description below. I see Gluttony's already here in the chat. How are you doing, man? But yeah, UFC Fight Night ALMEIDA versus ASSUNCAO. We also have Carvalho versus Vieira coming up, and then Durandamy versus Kaufman, and it's all leading up to UFC 284 Ferguson versus Gillespie 2. It's a rematch between Ferguson and Gillespie from when they had their most recent fight, and Gillespie, who's been absolutely tearing it up for whatever reason. I mean, look at all these guys that he's beaten. And I mean, do you think Gregor Gillespie beats Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, and Khabib in real life, Tristan?
Probably.
Yeah, probably not. He was supposed to have a fight last week, and it ended up getting canceled because I think he ended up getting COVID. So that sucks. But here in the game, he's been tearing it up. Calm Ferret, how's it going, bud? But yeah,
he's tearing it up in the game, but he can't even beat Kevin Lee in real life.
Well, hey, like Kevin Lee in the game is doing amazing also. Like, he just beat GSP. So, and Kevin, that was a sick knockout. Did you watch that live when he knocked out Gregor Gillespie?
No, I didn't actually.
Do you get to watch the pay-per-views a lot, or do you just kind of like watch the highlights?
Sometimes a little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, when you're a little bit older and you get some more money in your pocket, it's gonna be hard to say no to buying the pay-per-views. I mean, it's kind of hard to not try to go via illegal means to watch the fights, but I usually just go to Buffalo Wild Wings with some friends and watch it.
Yeah.
All right, so we have UFC Fight Night ALMEIDA versus ASSUNCAO. Let's go ahead and get it started in Southern Central America. You can go ahead and see all the fights there. As always, a 16-fight card. And we are starting it out with Jonathan Dragon Martinez as he takes on Dana Botgarel. Martinez is 14-4. Botgarel is 9-3. Tristan, who do you have in this one?
I'm gonna have to go with Jonathan Martinez.
All right, Tristan's going with Martinez, and he is correct. A TKO victory in round number 1. The fight rated as being great.
The screen is frozen for me. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So Jonathan Martinez getting the win. Gluttony says UFC Undisputed 2010 was the game that got him into UFC. Kimbo Slice. I got you there. Who would be interested in fighting next? Same as James Gallagher, who we just signed from Bellator. Up next, Gavin Tucker taking on Dylan the Nuke Took. Very cool name. And he's a heavy favorite over Gavin Tucker, of all people, for some reason. Dylan Took 0-1 in the UFC. This guy's from Ireland. Maybe has a...
Alright, I'm back.
Alright, how's it going, man?
It's still not working for me. It's frozen.
It's all good.
Oh wait, it's not frozen anymore.
Just
stuck on the loading screen.
Oh.
It's just stuck on the loading screen.
I'd say just watch the stream on Twitch. It'd probably be easier that way.
Yeah, I'll watch it on Twitch.
All right.
But I'm still gonna be in the VC.
Sounds good. Gavin Tucker or Dylan Took? Who do you have?
Well, Dylan Toop was on Prospect Showdown, right?
I believe he was. You are correct. You know a little bit more about the save than I do sometimes. Was Dylan Took on Prospect Showdown? He absolutely was. RBM, how's it going, man? He lost to Coms Ekpo.
I'm gonna go with Gavin Tucker to win this fight.
The betting underdog, Gavin Tucker, he's taking the win, and he is correct. Tristan, my man, you should go to Vegas when you're older. Picking all the winners here. Gavin Tucker says he's happy to get the win. Up next, Guan Wang taking on Alex Enlin in the featherweight division. Enlin is 19-3-1. Guan Wang is 22-2-1. The odds-on favorite is Alex Enlin. Tristan, who do you have in this one?
I am going to go with Alex Enlin.
Alex Enlin, and he does get the win. 3 for 3, Tristan. Less than a minute into the first round, and he gets it. All right, Magomed Unisilao taking on Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena. Also in the 145 division, undefeated is Unisilao taking on Luis Pena. You have to remember, Luis Pena trains with DC, not in the game, but in real life. Luis Pena trains with DC over at American Kickboxing Academy, and he's on a 4-fight winning streak as well. So an undefeated fighter in Unisilao.
Oh shoot.
So yeah, who do you have here? It's kind of a difficult one.
My audio's messed up. I'll be right back.
No problem. So we go ahead and go forward with this fight, and Unisilao stays undefeated at 14-0 against Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena. Ivan Shatirkov taking on Jim Crute in the light heavyweight division. Jim Crute in real life is going to be fighting in Houston against Chris Weidman. So that should be a pretty good one. And if anyone else in the Twitch chat wants to hop on to the Discord, just join the Discord general chat and we can talk a little bit more. Jim Crute, a huge favorite, and he gets the win over Shatirkov via guillotine choke. Jim Crute, charismatic talker, really knows how to sell himself. You love to see it. Who's a special guest commentator? That would be Tristan is the man. He's a longtime follower and subscriber to the YouTube channel, and he said, "Hey man, can I come on and take some guesses on the fights?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" And he's already 3 for 3. So anyone else wants to come on, get involved in the voice chat, more than welcome. Duke Didier taking on Ray Sloan. Didier is 8-3. Sloan is 10-1, and Didier gets the win in round number 2. So the Australian now 3-2 in the UFC. RBM's gonna join on. You love to see it. Livia Renata Sosa taking on Ayaka Hamasaki in the women's strawweight division. 14-5 is Sosa. Hamasaki at 40 years of age, 23-3, 3-0 in the UFC already, and Hamasaki stays undefeated. She's 40 years old, 4-0 in the UFC already. She does not have a lot of time, to mess around. She needs to get going quickly. So the next fight I give her is probably going to be a highly ranked fighter. Just like it's now or never for her, really. Carlos Matos taking on Bevon Lewis in the 185 division. Lewis is a huge favorite against Matos, despite the fact that he is undefeated. And Matos 9-0, trying to get a victory here today, and Bevon Lewis knocks him out in less than 2 minutes. Bevon Lewis, thanks everyone connected to Jackson Winklejohn MMA. Brad Riddell, who I believe was supposed to fight Gregor Gillespie, takes on Jason High. My mic isn't working. That's okay, man. It should be on the Discord chat. If you just hit general, you should be able to mess with the settings a little bit to get that to go.
Hey, how's it going?
RBM, how's it going, man?
Going good. I just finished up my college assignments for this week, so I'm sitting okay.
You love to hear it. You love to hear it. You have anything else going on for the rest of the week, or just work, or?
Well, unfortunately, my dad got COVID, then my mom got COVID, and now my brother has COVID, so I can't. So this is my 3rd week running that I can't even go into work.
That sucks, man. No, I know that like just about a month ago, everyone in my house kind of had COVID, so that's when I was kind of just dishing out these videos left and right, because I'm just stuck in my room all freaking day. So
when COVID first hit me, and you've heard me talk about my friend Eric, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just destroyed everything. We uploaded like 8 videos in one day.
That's all. Well, when you don't have really anything else to do, like, why not, you know?
So what fight's coming up next?
So we have Brad Riddell, who was in real life supposed to fight Gregor Gillespie until he got COVID. And he's currently on a 2-fight winning streak, and he's taking on Jason High. Jason High, I believe, is in PFL right now in real life. He's on a 5-fight winning streak, including 2 here. One against Jared Flash Gordon. And
You hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? We got
We got
a huge favorite in Jason High. RBM, who are you taking in this one?
Honestly, Jason High sounds like a good prospect. I'm rooting for him, and that's who I'm going to go for.
I mean, you say prospect, and he looks pretty young, but he's 40 years old, so I'm not sure if you would really call him a prospect, despite the fact that...
Maybe not, like, in the actual sense, but just in the sense of he's a good guy to have around.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Hold on, I'm gonna try something.
And Jason High...
My audio keeps coming out every time I change tabs to go to the Twitch screen, so I'm gonna try something.
You're good, man. So unanimous decision victory for Jason High as he beats Brad Riddell. 3-0 in the UFC, 40 years of age, and it's kind of in the same sense of Hamasaki, where this guy's 40 years old, so even though he might not be at the level of some of the top 15 guys, because he doesn't have, you know, a lot of time left in his career. Oh, and there we go. High just retired, so just as I was about to say.
I guess retire on top.
Yeah, like, on a win. But I was just about to say, like, I give him a top 15 guy, like, because he does not have a lot of time, and there he is, like, he's retired from the sport, and he's not going to come back, because typically when the guys get to 40, you know, or older, they just don't come back. So Jessica Del Boni now taking on Itsuki Hirata in the strawweight division.
I'm back to bet.
All right, you're back to bet.
I'm doing Twitch on my phone, so on my iPad.
There you go. Adapting to the situation. 9-1 is Hirata taking on Jessica Del Boni, who is 12-3. RBM, who you have in this one?
What are the odds looking like? Cause I can't exactly see in the Twitch.
Minus 240 for Hirata, coming off a win over Janessa Mirandin. Del Boni is a plus 190, coming off a loss to Stamp Fairtex. Before that, a 3-fight winning streak.
I'm gonna go with Del Boni to win this one.
He's gonna go with Del Boni. He's
I gotta go with the guy who's been right 100% of the time.
That's a very good point. I mean, Stamp Fairtex is not an easy fight, even though that was her UFC debut fight. I'm thinking Del Boni might win too, and she does not. She gets TKO'd in round number 1 by Itsuki Hirata.
Well, with a name like that, who's the real winner?
Strong heart fighter, Itsuki Hirata. Yana Kunitskaya taking on Julia Avila on the first fight of the main card, so opening up the main card action for us. Julia Avila, 9-4, number 14 in the bantamweight division, a 2-fight winning streak over Julia Stolyarenko and Gina Mazzani. And Yana Kunitskaya, who's coming off a win in real life, coming off 2 straight losses to Irene Aldana and Marina Moknatkina. So, Tristan, who do you have in this one first?
Avila.
Avila, all right. RBM?
This is kind of shoot myself in the foot because it is Tristan after all, but I'm going to have to go with Kunitskaya.
Kunitskaya, coming off a big win in real life, and she does not win. The unanimous decision goes to Julia Avila. That's a 3-fight losing streak now for Kunitskaya.
I knew betting against Tristan was going to backfire.
I can't hear RBM, by the way.
Might be my voice settings.
Yeah, I can't hear RBM.
All right. Go ahead and try to mess with your settings a little bit as we have Nasrat Hakparast, the smaller Kelvin Gastelum, taking on Jeremy Kennedy in the 155 division. Jeremy Kennedy, 6-2 in the UFC, number 12 in the lightweight division, but that's not necessarily true because we have the guys from the super lightweight division that kind of just left the division for now. He's coming off a win to Mansour Barnawi. Before that, lost to Mark Jakashi, but before that, a 4-fight winning streak. So he's doing quite well. And Hakparast, number 10 in the division, a 4-fight winning streak, the last one being over the veteran Michael Johnson.
I just can't do it. I already messed with the settings a little bit, and that's how you guys can hear me. But I don't think I can do it again. Let me try and.
It's all good, man. Just respond to me. Don't worry too much about RBM. Just go ahead and respond whenever I talk. RBM,
Alright, so,
who do you have in this one?
could you repeat them? I was kind of just fidgeting with my settings.
Oh, good. Nasrat Hakparast and Jeremy Kennedy. Kennedy is coming off a win, but before that, lost to Mark Chikashi, and Hakparast is on a 4-fight winning streak, the last one being over Michael Johnson. Odds-on favorite is Hakparast.
I'm gonna go with.
With.
I'm feeling that Kennedy's
I'm gonna
gonna
go with Hackbrass.
think I win.
All right. Kennedy and Hakparast, 1 vote for each of them, and Jeremy Kennedy gets the unanimous decision victory in round number 3. So the guy, he's in PFL right now, and he's doing pretty well. I think he had like a fight or 2 in the UFC, and then just, closes it out. Misha Serkinov taking on Max Power Nunes in the 205 division. Nunes always ends up being very, very good in WMMA 5. For whatever reason, I don't know. I don't even know how he's doing in real life, if I'm being honest, but he's currently 5-0 in the UFC. Misha Serkinov, on the other hand, is coming off 3 straight losses, but it's a very tough competition. Keep that in mind. Anthony Smith, Vadim Nemkov, and Jan Blachowicz, all these guys are in the top 10 or so. So 3 straight losses, but to some very tough competition. And now he faces off against another tough competitor in Max Nunes. RBM, who do you have?
Well, I think Chael Sonnen says it best. If you're on a pretty bad, I wouldn't say this is pretty bad, but if you're on a losing streak, that's going to kind of mess with your head a bit. So either he has to really get lucky here, or Max is just going to take it.
And the betting line, Serkinov's the favorite, so Vegas must see that he's been facing off with some tough competition. I'm going to go with Nunes too.
I'm going with Nunes.
All right. Tristan says he's going to go with Nunes. He's trusting the win streak, and he is incorrect. Serkinov getting it done via submission in round number 2. And that is crazy to me because Nunes always ends up going like top 5 in the division like right away. So Serkinov getting a big win here today.
Very interesting.
In the flyweight division, John Moraga taking on Jose Shorty Torres. 4-2 in the UFC is Torres, last losing to top contender Naoki Inoue. And John Moraga, I believe, is coming off a win over Mighty Mouse Johnson, who is having a terrible time in this save. Does Mighty Mouse do terrible in your guys' saves as well, typically?
I have the default save.
Gotcha.
So
I have a kind of an earlier save, and he's just smoking everybody in that save. Although this is like 10 years ago or something like that.
Oh, so you're talking like a 2010 save.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I think we're in the year like 2011 or something now. But
Wow.
he's just buddy.
Well,
I have Moraga winning this.
Tristan says Moraga is going to win this after getting the win over Mighty Mouse. Who are you going with, RBM?
See, I'm gonna have to go with the other guy. He seems kind of not more impressive, but I think it's about his time.
All right, he's going for Jose Shorty Torres, and it is Jose Shorty Torres getting a knockout in round number 2, and he is the number 10 flyweight. And you have to remember, he also beat Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson and Davison Figueiredo, only losing to the top contender right now in Naoki Inoue. So he might be, maybe a win away from a title shot. And now we have a very exciting featherweight fight between the Korean Superboy Do Ho Choi and very funny, my former training partner and Kyler Matrix Phillips. Now, Kyler Phillips used to train at my gym here in Surprise, Arizona. He's currently at the MMA lab, which is probably a lot better for him, but he still kind of gets some help from the sensei at the place where I used to train at. But he's ranked in the bantamweight division now in the UFC, so it's kind of trippy to see him, doing so well. It's pretty awesome. But he's 11-1 here, 5-0 undefeated here in the save. So clearly, the mod makers must have liked something in Kyler Phillips because he's doing amazing. And Do Ho Choi, always an exciting fighter, number 25 in the featherweight division, and 7-6 in the UFC overall.
This is a close fight for me, but I'm going with Kyler. I'm going with Kyler Phillips.
He's going with Kyler Phillips. Okay. RBM, what's your take?
Honestly, because I have a personal bias towards Doo Ho Choi. He absolutely destroyed my Bellator save.
Really?
He was just, so, but Kyler Phillips, he just seems like I don't know. I think it might just be too much for Doo Ho Choi, but I'm rooting for him.
So rooting for Doo Ho Choi, but kind of in his brain is like Kyler might win this. So we'll see. I mean, Matrix is the odds-on favorite at the MMA lab, but Doo Ho Choi is always game and always brings the fight as Kyler Phillips wins via unanimous decision over Doo Ho Choi.
Can we see some of the fight statistics?
Yeah, I just skipped forward. Darn. Okay. We'll do it for the main event because I do tend to not look at the fight statistics because I don't want to say I don't care about them too much, but I just never really look at them, you know? And also because they don't really show that many stats. Like usually it'll say like 4 punches or 2 kicks, you know? Like, and that doesn't seem particularly right.
I usually skip the prelims but do the main card.
Are you talking about just like in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
I usually skip the prelims and then do the main card.
Are you talking about like all the way through, like reading the like the commentary and everything?
Yeah, I read the commentary for the main card, but I skip to the end for the prelim.
Okay, I gotcha. Benja plays. Yeah, go ahead. Join the call if you would like. Get some more input in on this. So it's the main event of the evening. 5-round fight. A 40-year-old RAPHAEL ASSUNCAO, 29-10. Number 10 in the bantamweight division. Coming off wins over a very depressing Cody Garbrandt and John Dodson. And Thomas ALMEIDA, who we just saw lose to Sugar Sean O'Malley this past weekend. Number 7 in the bantamweight division. And he's on a tear. Johnny Eduardo, the former Bellator champion, Darian Caldwell, Casey Kenny, Rob Font, and TJ Dillashaw. All on his hit list, and he all took care of them. And he's the odds-on favorite. First, Tristan, who do you have in the main event?
Well, which one's on a losing streak?
Neither. They're both on winning streaks. RAPHAEL ASSUNCAO on a 2-fight winning streak. ALMEIDA on a 5-fight winning streak, and ALMEIDA is the favorite.
I feel like this is a very close fight, really good main event. But I am just gonna barely go with ALMEIDA.
All right, he's gonna go with ALMEIDA. RBM.
I mean, he's no Uriah Faber, but I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go with ALMEIDA?
Oh yeah, ALMEIDA, 100%.
You have some kind of penchant for the California kid, and you hated Piotr Jan. What's up with that?
He went up against the California kid.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Is he a paper champ, or not even a paper champion? Because he's not even the champion anymore. Well, anyways, Thomas ALMEIDA and RAPHAEL ASSUNCAO in the main event. The referee is Mario Yamasaki. That's always dangerous for any fighter.
Mario, if he dies, he dies. Yamasaki.
Yeah, he's gonna go back to refereeing actually. D Kelly 13 says RAPHAEL ASSUNCAO, so he likes ASSUNCAO going for a takedown, but he can't get it. Ooh, ASSUNCAO trying to pound on him, got the takedown. Maybe trying to go for some jiu-jitsu here. ALMEIDA's definitely favored on the feet. I don't really know that much about his jiu-jitsu. Did you watch that fight between Cody and ASSUNCAO live? When he got knocked out like at the last second?
I didn't see it, but I saw the knockout. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Because, I mean, Cody was winning. Uh-oh, vicious right hand. Nope, nothing happens really. Cody was winning that round and then just finishes it off. Just boom. Very last second as the bell's going off.
He like ducked under a punch and then countered with an overhand.
Oh, yeah. You gonna try to get into to fighting or anything like that? Do jiu-jitsu or anything like that, Tristan? Maybe. Do you do any sports or anything right now?
No.
All right, sounds good. Video games are cooler anyways. Ooh, big strike. ALMEIDA keeps control of the clinch in the... They say more please, because apparently that was a very good second round. And it's apparently tied up 1-1. ALMEIDA moving in closer. He gets him in that Muay Thai, and that's very dangerous. Big strike. A vicious right hand from Almeida drops ASSUNCAO, and your winner by knockout is Thomas Almeida in the third round. And the 31-year-old still going strong. That is now a 6-fight winning streak. And that one against a top 10 opponent. He might be one win away now from a title shot of his very own.
I mean, running a stiff campaign for #1 contender.
Absolutely. And if we take a look here, after Nathaniel Wood, there's really not much going on as far as I can see. So, I mean, definitely, like you said, putting up a good campaign for a title shot in the near future. A win over the number 10 guy, maybe not quite enough to get you a title shot, but definitely maybe one win away. And Julia Villa and Kunitskaya having an absolute war. Fantastic fight. They're going to get fight of the night. And let's see, any first round finishes. We do have a TKO win for Alex Enlin. He'll get a performance bonus. And submission for Jim Crute, or knockout for Bevon Lewis. We're going to be nice. We're going to give them both performance bonuses. So congratulations to them. They all get $25,000 because I'm very cheap. Small profit, $400,000. Highest paid fighters on that card are Thomas Almeida, Misha Serkinov, and Doo-Ho Choi. The Korean Superboy getting the money, $30,000, which is not a lot in terms of real life fighting, but in terms of the game, it's a lot of money. So congrats, I guess.
Sounds like he's going to be able to make this month's rent.
I mean, I don't know how high the rent is in Busan in South Korea, but that'd get you a pretty... I mean, if you think about it, if you fight like 3 times a year at 30,000, that's 90K. But then you have to think about like 10% automatically goes to your manager. That's like $9,000 right there. So you're down to like 80,000. Taxes maybe like 40%. So you're really left with like 40,000. And then after like all your gym fees and paying your coaches, maybe like another $5,000 or so. That's $35,000 take home a year. Like that's terrible, you know?
You got to think about the...
In your opinion, should one of these guys go to WEC or Invicta?
We'll have to check because I typically don't check that until afterwards. But that is a good point. Invicta is for the women's fighters who need a little bit more seasoning. WEC is for the men's fighters who are kind of on losing streaks, kind of not doing so hot. But we'll have to check right now. That is a very good point, Tristan. Because, I mean, that's what it's there for. And that's why Frankie Edgar's down there. Frankie Edgar won his first fight in WEC. I forgot to mention. I know you had some kind of hatred towards Frankie Edgar for some reason, RBM. I don't know what that was about.
We didn't get Gray Maynard 4, so yeah.
Oh, that's what it was? Because then they tied once in one of those fights, right?
Yeah, it was insane. It was like a split draw. Then it was a split decision for their third fight. It was literally geared for a fourth fight, and then they didn't do it.
They should just chuck him out there now at like age 40, 45, just to finish off the what would you even call it? The quadrilogy?
I think you'd have to.
All right. As always, let's go ahead and update our rankings and see if anything moves. And nothing in heavyweight, light heavyweight, some movement. Misha Serkinov in the top 10. That's pretty interesting. And Max Nunes all the way down to number 25. Now, do you kind of agree with the ranking system in WMMA 5 RBM, or do you kind of just do your own rankings in your head?
Well, I agree with it to a certain extent, but if somebody beats a guy who's higher ranked and then they're still ranked higher than them after the updated rankings, I just kind of pretended that they're ranked higher.
And another kind of question I have about like your booking kind of strategy. What do you do with a guy like Dominic Reyes who's already lost like twice to the same guy for a title? Do you give him that third shot? Because typically like there's no trilogy if the same guy loses twice. Like, do you do a third fight or no?
Honestly, it depends on if the last 2 fights were close.
A unanimous decision, and then he got submitted.
Honestly, I as long as John Jones was champ, I wouldn't give him an inch towards a title shot. He'd be fighting guys in the top 10s for quite a bit.
And I was considering making a 195 division, like just for Dominic Reyes. But if you look over here, he can only fight at 196 up. Like, I can always change that in the editor, but it sucks because, like, he's kind of stuck. And that's why Ion Cuchalaba is fighting for the title next. I mean, and it's not even like he has any super great, like, wins over top 5 opponents or anything like that. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6-fight winning streak, you know? So it's just like, he's the next one up. Also, Glover Teixeira is injured for like another 8 months or so, or 4 months. So he's probably going to be next, I'd imagine, once he gets back from injury. But it just sucks because it's like, all of a sudden you have like kind of no-name guys fighting John Jones for the title. And he's just going to hold on to both the heavyweight. Calm Ferret says send Reyes to WEC.
I don't know if Reyes is
I have a very long plan. If Cutelaba loses to John Jones, then Cutelaba fights Reyes, and then if Teixeira comes back and loses to John Jones, the winner of Cutelaba versus Reyes fights Teixeira. And if Reyes wins both of those fights, that's enough to prove that it's time for a trilogy.
I mean, that's a good point because Teixeira will be next after Cuchalaba. I like how you're kind of just assuming that Glover would lose to Jones there.
yeah, and that retire immediately afterwards, considering he's 41.
I'm just saying, if he does.
That's a good point. I see it happen sometimes that when they come back from injury, they'll just retire outright. And sometimes they'll just retire randomly. And I'll have to like be like, well, okay, because I think Ronda Rousey did that after she lost. Who did she lose to? I think to Juliana Pena.
Oh no, in game. Sorry.
Yeah, in game. She lost to Juliana Pena and she retired. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I brought you out of retirement and you, like, she literally did what she would do in real life. Then she came back, beat Lena Landsberg because I'm like, okay, I kind of had to play to her emotions a little bit. I'm like, okay, like, I don't want you to leave because you can still make me a little bit of money. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an easier fight. And then she got absolutely starched by Sarah Kaufman. She didn't retire, and she's actually scheduled to fight soon. But, yeah, sometimes these guys and girls are very tricky, like, on when they're going to retire. Glover Teixeira, 42 years old. And, I mean, we can talk to him and ask him. But he's saying he doesn't see him competing much longer. So it's really any day now for him. So I just hope he can at least get that title shot in, kind of like Uriah Faber did.
Yeah, and if he wins, you know, go out with a bang, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like Uriah Faber did. In middleweight division, there's no movement. At the welterweight division, Ben Askren is back in the welterweight rankings after losing to Mark Jakashi in the super lightweight Grand Prix.
Didn't he retire?
No. Ben Askren retired, but I talked him back out of retirement. And so I guess me re-signing him just put him back in the welterweight division, which makes sense. But yeah, he did retire. But,
man, Ben choked harder than an asthmatic in that fight.
Because he was winning, and like he was winning, you know, like at 4:34, so like 26 seconds left, and he got choked, or not choked, but armbar. And the thing is, Jakashi was going for that armbar the entire fight, and he was just able to evade it. But then 26 seconds left to go. It seems like a Ben Askren thing to do, honestly.
Got cocky, gets caught.
Now, what are you guys thinking about this Ben Askren and Jake Paul fight? Like, what are you guys thinking there?
I'm rooting for.
Honestly, I hate to see Ben Askren lose, but I think Jake Paul's gonna win.
Really? Okay. Like, did you watch any of the other Jake Paul boxing fights?
No, but I heard he starched Nate Robinson, and Askren isn't really much of a wrestler. I mean, he's not really much of a boxer.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Nate Robinson.
And Jake Paul just starched some former NFL player. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick Jake Paul if this fight actually happens. So I
some NFL player. Which NFL player? Because I know I saw there's a Bellator fighter. There's a Bellator fighter. NBA. Well, yeah, that's Nate Robinson. I think what RBM was about to say is Nate Robinson probably hasn't fought a day in his life, and he's also very small. Is that what you were gonna get at, RBM?
Also, he literally was running into Jake Paul the entire time. So he had no experience, and he only trained for a month leading up to that fight.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm definitely in the tank for Ben Askren, mostly because he's funny, you know. Jake threw a punch at him. Yeah, Gluttony's saying that Jake threw a punch at him, and Ben Askren did not react at all. Like, he threw him a body shot, and Askren was like, what was that, essentially?
Well, see, I'm rooting for Ben. I really am. But I see his boxing footage, and it's not.
Hearing what people are saying. I'm sorry, RBM, if you were talking. I cannot hear you. My audio is acting up just for you. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people are saying Askren's gonna win, and I'm really worried that Askren is gonna beat Jake Paul, and I will be an idiot for that.
It is what it is. People are always gonna make fun of you, for your opinions and stuff like that. So that's not really something to worry about. I'm worried if Ben Askren gets absolutely knocked out. Does it look bad on MMA as a whole, or does it just look bad on Ben Askren?
Well, I don't think Ben Askren I think he's retired from MMA, so I think it'll only affect him. Especially because he didn't react to the body shot. I think that would have just affected his ego a bit.
Okay. Hopefully Ben's chin holds up and only takes one punch. I guess, But yeah, Ben Askren still here in the UFC and obviously doing okay. So super lightweight division, nothing moves. I have to send some of the guys back down to their original weight classes. In the lightweight division, Jeremy Kennedy is in the top 10 after beating Haqparast. Featherweight division, Bryce Mitchell and Arnold Allen are now ranked, but I do not see Kyler Phillips after being 6-0 now in the UFC. That is incredible to me that he is not ranked. So weird. So Thomas Almeida, like we mentioned, having a great win, moves up to number 4 in the bantamweight division. I'd say a win over a top 5 opponent definitely gets him a title shot next. So Dominic Cruz and Ray Borg are probably going to fight soon. I'd say that if Dominic Cruz wins that, probably gets him a title shot. But Thomas Almeida kind of just has to wait for a little bit because a lot of these guys are already kind of scheduled to fight. And RAPHAEL ASSUNCAO moves down at 13.
Or Almeida could fight the loser of who's the champ again?
Sandhagen and Wood.
Sandhagen and Wood. He could fight the loser of that, and then if he wins, then he gets the title shot against Sandhagen or Wood.
It's a very good point. The only I like what you're thinking, but the only thing is like if Sandhagen like absolutely knocks out Wood, like destroys him, Wood's probably out for 6 months, and it's not fair to Almeida to like make him wait all those 6 months. So it's kind of just like you kind of have to play it by ear. But I do get what you're saying, and I would agree that that's probably a good fight to make.
If that happens, just straight up give him the title shot.
You could go with that. We'll just have to see what happens. Tony Gravely in at number 25. Flyweight division, Jose Torres moves up to number 5 after beating John Moraga. He might be a win away from a title shot, but there's also Manel Kape fighting Naoki Inoue. The winner of that, for sure, is getting a title shot. So we'll have to see what happens with Jose Torres next. Nothing at the women's featherweight division because there's only one fighter. Julia Avila moves up to number 12, but she does not move past Kunitskaya, who she just beat.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. We have a new girl in the rankings, Egalienta Bougie. She's very bougie. 6-0. Fighter straight up out of Invicta. All of her fights were in Invicta. 6-0. Congrats to her. But here's something that's pretty interesting. She's already at yellow health. Only 27 years of age. And I wanted to see what was wrong. And she had a major ankle injury. And so, like, she's pretty compromised already, only 27 years old. That kind of sucks. Yeah, women's flyweight, no movements. And there we go. Hamasaki, 4-0, 40 years of age, ranked at number 24. She's probably going to get a top, maybe like 11 to 15 opponent in the near future. Maybe like Marina Rodriguez. Back in 34 days, we can probably do that fight because she's coming off a loss. So she probably needs to fight down anyways. So that seems like something we might be able to do. And then that is it for the rankings. And I'm going to go ahead and check the emails later. That's going to be it for this episode. Thank you, RBM, and thank you, Tristan, for joining me for this. It's going to be Carvalho versus Vieira, our next fight night. I'm AZPlow21. You guys have a good rest of your day.